Hey, my little sinners and saints. Today we're going to talk about the trial and the case of Charlie Addison. I have followed this trial for at least a week and done research on it, and they finally got a verdict. And we're going to go into my thoughts and theories on what's going to happen next. So let's screen share. I want to put faces with people. This is Charlie Addison. Addison. We're gonna call him the dentist, and this is Dan Markle. This is Wendy. This is Dan's wife, ex-wife, and this is the players in the game. This is Dan. This is Wendy. Sorry, it's blurry. This is Lewis. This is Fredo, Sigfredo, Donna the mother, the dentist, Charlie, and then Harvey the dad, and then Catherine, I can't say her last name, we're going to call her Katie. These two were boyfriend and girlfriend on and off, and she also went with Charlie. These two were getting a divorce. Now, I'm going to go over some timelines and just bear with me because the timelines it's it's a long one, but once we get done, I've took notes through the court case, which they're a little muddled, but we'll get there. Welcome, Autumn. Woohoo, Autumn. My temperature says 40 and says cold weather. Autumn. Okay. This is from Tallahassee, Florida, WCTV. Dan Markle was murdered in the driveway of his Benton Hills home on July 2014. 8 years later, his ex-wife's brother was arrested on murder charges in Broward County after grand jury indictment on him. Now, Charlie Adelson's trial has started. In between these events, there have been many twists and turns in the Markle murder case. There's a compiled timeline of the biggest moments so far, a detailed timeline of the events in the Markle murder case. September 10th, 2012, Dan Markle's then wife, Wendy, files for divorce. Markle finds the divorce papers, um, leans. He learns that the children have been moved out upon his return from a business trip, according to court records. June 20th, 2013, judge denies Wendy's motion for relocation of the children, according to court records. I will get into details on what all these mean, and this is a build up of what the case is going to be. So that's why I want to read all these. On July 31st, 2013, court documents show that the divorce was resolved and granted. May 15th, 2014, hearing scheduled for a motion to prohibit Adelson's mother from seeing the grandchildren unsupervised is continued with a new hearing scheduled prior to Markle's death. July 15th, 2014, Prius tied to the crime scene related in North Miami, according to Tallahassee Police Department. July 16th, 2014, police say that suspects Sigfredo and Luis Rivera traveled to Tallahassee from North Miami based on cell phone records, surveillance footage, and car rental information. July 17th, police say suspects arrived in Tallahassee after midnight, according to cell phone records. Records also indicate that phones are in the vicinity of Markle's home, according to TPD. Unknown witness says that he rents room for Garcia and Rivera on North Monroe Street, and I'll get into what hotel. Following Thursday's lunch break, Luis Rivera took the stand in the Catherine Magbeno I'm gonna call her Katie, retrial for the murder of Dan Markle. July 18, 2014, Dan Markle is shot in the head in the garage of his Benton Homes home around 11 a.m., pronounced dead at the hospital in that area later that day. July 21st, 2014, Tallahassee Police Department creates tip line dedicated to the investigation of Markle's murder. Police say Markle was specifically targeted. July 21st, 23rd, 2014, image of green Prius is seen in the area around the time of the crime, and it's released. The TPD, Tallahassee Police Department, says they received over 50 tips through the tip line and asked local residents and businesses with video surveillances to contact them. July 31st, 2014, TPD releases recording of 911 call to Consolidated Dispatch Agency. It is determined that human error led to the delay in getting help from Markle. We'll get into all of this. Memorial service on September 16, 2014 is held at FSU for Markle following the start of the school year. He was a FSU law professor. February 27, 2015, grand jury reviews 911 call. Blast CDA's handling of Markle's dispatch call. Says there's 19 minutes in the delay of the paramedics showing up on the scene, which is unacceptable. There's no way to determine whether they could have saved his life or not, but 19 minutes later, that's just ridiculous. July 17, 2015, TPD releases new details in Markle's case on the 1-year anniversary, including details of the Prius, and say the vehicle may or may not have belonged to the driver. Anonymous donor offers a separate $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction. On February 25th, 2016, TPD releases new documents in Markle case. New details may include that that keys were still in the ignition, and house was locked at the Markle house. This is a clip of the original FBI recording. I have that. We'll show it. April 20th, 2016, FBI records conversation between Charlie Adelson and Katie at Doshavito, I forget how to say it, restaurant. May 24, 2016, investigators review Garcia. According to court documents, Garcia denies that he has ever been in Tallahassee and said he made no trips with Rivera and knows nothing about the homicide. On May 25th, 2016, 34-year-old Garcia was arrested in Hollandale Beach, Florida, on charges of first-degree murder relating to Daniel Markle case and possession of cocaine. May 26, 2016, TPD holds a press conference, officially names Garcia as a suspect, says the documents have been ordered by the judge to be sealed. June 1st, 2016, Garcia is extradited to South Florida and booked into Leon County Jail. June 2nd, 2016, Garcia appears in Leon County Court for the first time of his appearance, and he doesn't enter a plea. June 2nd, 2016, documents in murder case are unsealed. Documents name Luis Rivera as second suspect, which now that's the one that is Katie's boyfriend, by the way. Establishes connection between Adelson family and Garcia, provides more details of a timeline murder accusation according to TPD. June 17, 2016, a Leon County grand jury indicts both Sigfredo and Garcia and Luis Rivera for the murder of Dan Markle. June 24, 2016, Garcia pleads not guilty in the court appearance. Defense attorneys James Lewis says that the state has informed him it plans to seek the death penalty. June 28, 2016, Luis Rivera extradited to Leon County from Coleman Federal Correction Complex in Central Florida, where he is incarcerated on unrelated charges. We can get into that too. Garcia and Katie's mugshots. I've got those. July 18th, 2016, Garcia's trial is set for November 14th, 2016. August 4th, 2016, Leon County's grand jury plans to reconvene to review evidence on Dan Markle murder case. August 8th, let me see if I can get on down to, there's not that much more. Just bear with me. August 8, 2016, CDA reaches settlement with Merkel family in lawsuit over slow response time. August 29, 2016, state releases interview video of Merkel's ex, Wendy. In the video, Adelson tells police her brother is joking about hiring a hitman. September 8, 2016, Rivera demands speedy trial, which is set by judge for October 21st, 3 weeks later, prior to co-defendant Garcia's trial. September 17th, Dan Markle's murder. The suspects and Adelson family all subjects to episode subjects on an episode of ABC's 2020. And then Rivera on September 28th through the 29th of 2016. Rivera's law, Chuck Collins, requests trial to be moved to Tallahassee. Judge denies request the venue change less than 1 day later. Katie on October 1st, 2016, is arrested in Broward County facing charges of first-degree murder. October 4, 2016, Rivera pleads to second-degree murder and is sentenced to 19 years in prison. He took a plea deal. Now, Rivera is this one. On October 10th, Katie booked in the Leon County Jail for first-degree murder charges. October 11th, 2019, Garcia convicted of first-degree murder. Judge declares mistrial for Katie after the jury is deadlocked. October 21st, 2019, Katie's retrial scheduled for April 13th, 2020. March 2020, the retrial is delayed for the first time due to COVID pandemic 19. August 2020, Katie requests to be released from jail to await trial. Retrial was delayed indefinitely due to the Rona. And judge on October and December 2020, judge and appeals court denies Katie's request to be released. And then it brings us up to October 20th, October 12th, sorry. Judge orders September 29th, 2023, Katie turns state's evidence and is expected to testify against her ex-boyfriend. That doesn't happen. October 12th, 2023, judge orders Charlie Addison's parents to appear for questioning. October 20th, 2023, attorneys agree to drop Charlie Addison's parents for witness list less than a week ahead of before the trial starts. 23 of October, the 23rd, they start Charlie Addison's trial. Okay. I'm going to start with Rivera, this gentleman right here. He said that he turned state's evidence so that he could get 19 years. And he's doing it concurrent with 12 years for another charge. Once he gets done, he's got 2 charges in Miami that he has to face. And he said that on their first trip down there that they rented a car, and that the person that was renting the room for them at the Budget Inn, that they were buying dope from him, and that uh, Garcia got crazy and shot through the bottom of the car and messed it up. Sorry. So they had to go get a little piece of pipe and put on the car to fix it so that they could return it. So after all this, they went back home. This was around June 4th, and 5th was the first trip. Rivera got a ticket in Gainesville. And this comes into play because he said that Garcia drove all the way down there the first time. But it was actually both of them driving. They arrived in the morning time. They had two guns. They were 38s. And then Rivera had jumped out of the car on the second trip because they had followed him the first trip to drop off his children. And where they were waiting, by the time they got back around, he was already gone. So they couldn't get him on the first trip. On the second trip, they followed him and he cut off early, but they took the next road and they met him and they pulled him behind him. And when they did, one, the neighbor saw, but and called the law, and they pulled him behind him. Rivera jumps out and shoots him, and then gets back in the car. Um, they lost him a couple of times. It was horrible, but for a hitman. But again, on the second trip, Rivera was told that they had to go finish the job, so they rented another car. This was the green Prius that they had seen. Ironically, today I was sitting at a lot and there was a green Prius exactly the same color as the one in this case, and I was wanting to get a picture of it so that I could post it. It was so crazy. But they stayed at the Budget Inn, the same hotel they did on the first trip. This is around July 16th, 17th. They went to the house, and there was a woman walking with the kids. And Rivera's like, he asked Garcia, he said, "Is that the lady with the kids?" They thought the new girlfriend with the kids was the mother, Wendy, and that was her. And then she gets on her phone and keeps watching them, so they freak out. But Garcia called Katie and she said, to get out of there, you got to go. Marco was to leave town on Friday. Um, that's when they shot through the rental car and they had to fix it. July 2014, on Friday, they followed him to daycare. They followed him to the gym. There's actual footage of this. And then they followed him back to his house, and that's where they pulled right in behind him. And he was on the phone. And Garcia jumped out and he shot him 2 times. And they dumped the gun off of a bridge into a body of water. Ironically, they don't remember which one. In this case, there's a lot of don't remembers. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Wendy. She wrote this book. This is Wendy was Dan's wife at the time. Then they got a divorce. She got very upset because she wrote this book. He had wrote a bunch of stuff had been published, and he didn't read a word of it. This is Katie and Wendy when they went to the beach together. It was actually Charlie that went, but you know, so they knew each other. Here's Katie's mugshot. This is one picture of her on trial. Again, these are the players. This is a better shot of Rivera, Garcia, Katie, Charlie, Wendy, Donna, and Harvey. And with some of the phone calls that we're going to look at, you're going to notice that the mom wants to talk to Charlie, but doesn't want the dad to know. She always wants him there when the dad is gone. This is some of the evidence. I'm not going to go through each one, um, but these are phone calls. And now this is Luis Rivera and his phone number, which pops up a lot on the phone calls and the detailed information. This is the ticket that they got for speeding on the first trip down there. That's why Rivera rented the car the second time. This is just showing calls that were made to who and how many times. This is the glass on the driver's door. This was his house. And the neighbor over here seen and called. And I don't know why, but 911 didn't take it serious or something. And it took them 19 minutes to get there. And this was Wendy and Dan. This is the green Prius, and you can see Rivera. This would be Garcia. And it's got this little toll thing right here. That's how they got them. This is actually a picture from one of the buses, like, buses that you ride to go places. Um, Apparently, they have cameras on them, so don't be committing crimes. And this is them at the gym following him around. Now, this is the bump. This is Donna, and this is an FBI agent. She doesn't know he's an FBI agent. She comes out of the building to go get the children. The children go to school like a block away from her. And so she comes out of her home um, and goes to get the children. Well, on the way, this guy walks up to her and he hands her a piece of paper and it's demanding money. And this is kind of where the shit hits the fan. She starts freaking out. And honestly, in this case, I was confused up to the last minute and still have questions. Like, he thought it was a Yelp review, he thought it was IRS, he thought he was getting sued. There was a bunch of stuff. But then there's evidence that I'm going to show that also it seems like he knows what's going on. And he's trying to say that he was extorted for money, that that Katie took this on herself and done it and extorting him for money. And she said that Charlie hired her or had her hire Rivera and Garcia to do this. So honestly, I I would like to have all the evidence in front of me that I've seen and everything, because it just seems to me like at first maybe there was extortion, but I don't know. I don't know if it turned in from extortion to, okay, now I know what you did and I need you to pay me money and stuff. I'm not sure exactly what happened. This is Charlie and Wendy, and this is the defense's puzzle pieces that don't fit into the puzzle on why he's not guilty. Okay, we have Charlie's called the dentist. There was wiretaps. There was text, the bump, um, phone calls. Everything was recorded. The FBI got permission to go in and do wiretaps, and they got a bunch of information. Um, when Katie, oh my God, when Katie got into court, um, she said she didn't want to tell on Charlie because then that would put Fredo in prison, but then the last time he was already sentenced and in prison, so she could have walked free. They were going to give her immunity to walk out the door as soon as she testified, and she would not take it. And so she says that he always joked about, and a lot of people say he joked about hiring a hitman. Wendy even said that it was cheaper for him to buy her a TV than hire a hitman. So that's why he got her the TV. And it's just, I don't know if this was just sarcastic jokes and then this happened. And you know, I got these theories of, did Katie think that he was serious and then had this happen and then extorted money from him? And then it's like, or did he have her get these people and go kill Dan? I mean, I don't know. It's unbelievable. Rivera was in the Latin Kings. He no longer is. Um, he's in federal prison, but I'd say that, to be honest, he'll probably be dead within 2 years. They don't play around. Whenever Dan come back from his trip, Wendy had took half of everything in the house and left divorce papers laying on the bed. Um, she was seeing Jeffrey LaCrosse, and he even called the law to give them his information and stuff to make sure that they knew everything about him and stuff. But because he said that even Charlie had joked about a hitman. But there was an incident where Charlie, Katie, Wendy, and Jeffrey was on a double date, and Charlie jokes about the hitman. Garcia and Rivera are stalking them in the parking lot, and Garcia wants to hit him with the vehicle. And I'm like, well, if he wanted to hit him with the vehicle, why would he hire him as a hitman? It didn't make sense. Um, Rivera said that they didn't extort Charlie. It's supposed to be $100,000 total payment. Rivera was supposed to get 35,000. Garcia was supposed to get 45, and then Katie gets the rest. Let me go through the rest of this. But like I said, as soon as Donna come out of her apartment, the FBI agent handed her the piece of paper and said, "You've been taking care of um, Rivera and Katie, and you're not taking care of Garcia. You need to do that." So she's freaking out. They start talking in codes, um, all this stuff. But the majority of it comes down to the phone calls. Let's look at those. Okay, this is the state's evidence of the little outline of what they think happened. There were a lot of players in this. Honestly, if I had to pick somebody, I would say that the mom was the one. She let me see if I can get it this way. There's two different views from one from the FBI agent and one from the surveillance. That's what you're seeing. That's the FBI agent. Okay, now we're going to look at some of the evidence that they collected. Speed this up. I'm going to put it pretty fast, so this is in the restaurant. That's Charlie right back there. He's with Katie. So he's talking about the person that stopped his mom whenever she was going to get the kids at school. I'm telling you, Donna hated Dan. They called him Gibbers. He's talking about he carries a gun a lot of times on him. Talking about he's going to start carrying one in his back. He seems scared. And that's why I was like, maybe this is actually extortion. But then we get to this, and I'm going to let you read it. And it's, I don't know. Well, we're not going to read it all because it's like 38 pages. But if you go through it, you can look it up online. He seems more like he knows more about what was going on beforehand. And he does make the comment of, if this person tries to come into my house and or something other than it's going to be a dentist against some gangbanger dead in my my parking space. So he does make that comment. So he seems like he's scared of this guy for some reason coming to his house. I don't understand why. Like there was so much information, it was unreal. But and this was the second suspect, that's Rivera. And I'm gonna leave this up so it kind of gives you an idea of who dealt with who. Like Luis Rivera was in the car whenever Dan Markle was shot. Garcia was the one that killed him. And it took 9 years in the making to get all of the players arrested and sentenced and everything. It took 2 weeks for this trial. and it took a little over 3 hours for the jury to find him guilty on all three counts. Count one, guilty. Count two and count three, all guilty. And if you ask me, I think that they're going to be looking at Wendy next. I think that the sister's going to be brought up because she was also in a lot of the phone calls, and she wanted to move the children to where her grandparents were, and he wouldn't let her, and she got banned from being able to do that by the court. So, you know, the mom's like, he was Jewish. And the mom's like, tell him that we're going to get the kids baptized and that they're going to go to a Christian church, and, just like trying to get his goat and stuff. And the warning sign, they said, was at the wedding, it was supposed to be kosher and that she had meat and dairy products there. And he had to apologize to his guests because it was supposed to be all kosher. So that was kind of like the warning sign at their marriage of what was to come. They said it was a bad marriage, a worse breakup, and a brutal divorce. And I predict Wendy will be on trial next. Thank you for bearing with me through this whole process. And as always, I will see you later. Bye.